Hey everybody, Eric with MountModernLife.com. I hope you guys are doing great today. And we wanted to share a simple way that you could use curtains in order to help separate or incorporate the cab area throughout the rest of your RV. Now, there's a few different reasons you might want to take this approach. And number one is that by adding the curtains up here, you immediately create a textured look, which can make it feel a lot cozier. And at the same time, by putting them up, it actually helps the cab area kind of flow into the design throughout the rest of the RV. Now, number two is, let's say you have an office up front, or maybe you're just hanging out in your living room and you're tired of looking at a dashboard. Well, you can actually completely close these and it'll separate one room from another and basically make the cab area disappear. Now, number three is temperature regulation. So one of the great parts about having a Class A is the huge windshield. You're able to get great scenic views while you're looking out of that. But one of the disadvantages is that during the middle of the summer or the middle of the winter, a lot of heat and a lot of cold can sneak in from the front of the RV. So by having the curtains in place, we can actually close those off and it'll trap a lot of that incoming heat or cold air right up front so that our ACs and our heater don't have to work as hard in order to heat or cool the rest of our living space. But anyway, here's the supplies you're going to need if you want to follow the same approach we did. So the first thing you're going to need is a tape measure, and that's because you're going to want to measure and get all the dimensions that you'll need. Now, number two is a tension rod, and we are actually using one that was designed for a shower, and that's because they're generally bigger than most of them out there, and it covers the space that we need. Now, you can also see that ours is white. We chose that color on purpose because we did want it to kind of fade away into the ceiling, but there are other color options out there if you're looking to go a different direction. Now, number three is actually going to be your curtains. We couldn't find curtains at the price and style we wanted, so we actually came across these. Katie fell in love with them, and they're actually blankets, but they work great. Now, one thing we do want to note here, though, about picking your curtains, or blankets in our case, is that you want to make sure that they're definitely wide enough in order to close. Because generally speaking, the distance across the RV is probably a little bit wider than most, say, windows or something like that someone will be using curtains for. So you want to make sure that your dimensions match so that if you need to, you can completely close off the area. Now, number four is our ring hooks, and these are optional. We actually went this direction because we figured we were going to do something a little bit different than actual curtains, and we're glad we did. It gave us a little bit of flexibility with our blankets here. They were a little bit too long, so we were actually able to fold a couple inches down, then connect the hooks, which then made our blankets, curtains, the perfect length that we needed in order to fit our space. Now, the last thing, which is also optional, is your tie backs and your cup hooks. So we actually used some thick rope over here, installed the cup hook right on the wall, and then it's easily removable for when we want to close it, or if we have it open and we want to have it pulled to the side. So that about wraps it up for the things we used to create this. Quick side note is that actually we did this when we first took off. And we were pretty nervous when we first hit the road that pretty much everything was going to fall apart. So before we would drive, we would take down the tension rod and the curtains and store them in the hallway. Well, after about 3 months of dealing with that, we said, you know what, I think it's going to ride. And since then, we've had zero problem. That just stays up the entire time when we drive, when we're parked, all of that. And the tie downs do really help while we're going down the road in order to keep it in place. So just something to keep in mind. But that about wraps it up for today, and this simple pointer to help kind of incorporate your front cab area with the rest of your RV. If you guys have any questions or comments, definitely feel free to let us know below or reach out to us over on the website. We will also include a link over to a post on the website if you want to go check that out. It'll just kind of run through basically everything we just talked about. But anyway, thank you guys so much for swinging by today. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.